Hey y'all, welcome back to Making It with Michelle. Today I'm kicking off a new series called Food for the Soul. Today's episode of Food for the Soul is about food, but more specifically, it's about vegetation, anywhere from plants to fruits and everything in between. And today I have a very special guest joining me. You know her, you love her. Please welcome Janet Atkinson.
Hi guys.
Thank you for joining me, Janet.
Of course, thank you for having me.
I have a very important question.
Okay.
Are you ready to be fed physically and spiritually?
Yes.
Alright, awesome. Let's get started.
Food for the Soul is a breakdown of Bible verses that mention food and their relevance in today's world. Myself and one other guest are going to create a dish based on the verse or verses and discuss how we can apply that verse in our lives.
Okay, so today we're making what is supposed to be a scallion and garlic noodle dish, but I accidentally bought chives. But it'll work the same. They're both in the onion family.
Exactly.
Just make sure you're paying attention to what you're buying when you buy it. It's going to be a vegetarian-based dish because the base scripture that we're using today is Genesis 1:29, and I will read it for you guys. And God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruits. You shall have them for food." So yeah, we're making a vegetarian-based dish. We're going to talk about what it is to have options for food. I'm very excited. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you the first question while we prep. All right, Janet. So what are your thoughts on all of the different diets that are out there?
Ooh. How long do we want to make this?
Answer as honestly, as bluntly, as truthfully as possible.
Okay. I think honestly speaking, I think we're a little bit too obsessed. Is the first thing that I will say.
Okay.
And I think sometimes I get a little bit wary because it sometimes feels like our priorities are more on the aesthetics versus the actual health benefits.
Yeah.
And I would say that especially when it comes to like fad diets, a lot of that is because you are trying to maybe lose weight quickly, get rid of bloating so that you can attain a certain look. And I do think that what's most important is actually, like your health. And that's not necessarily determined by what you look like on the outside, but what's going on in the inside.
Perfectly said. I think it is really important to focus on what's on the inside because with the new, we'll call it discovery of Ozempic and celebrities using it, it's, I don't know if it's like I wouldn't say a negative message, but it's really interesting because I did minuscule amount of research and I found out it's supposed to be like diabetes medicine, but again I think it's really important to focus on what's happening inside rather than trying to attain an image on the outside. But I mean we all fall victim to
we've all
vanity.
been there. I think especially like growing up, especially as a woman, right? And getting like constantly fed the messages of you need to look this way, like this is how your body is supposed to be. And a lot of that started for me even when I was like a freshman in high school. Oh my gosh, not even middle school. And I remember when I was like developing and like comparing myself to the other girls, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm over 100 pounds. Like
that is cute.
And it's like I was like 106 and I almost had a breakdown. Mind you, like that's where I was supposed to be. That's where my body was developed. Like that's normal. And I think there was this, and it's just always like it's just always this message that's being pushed around. It's not beneficial to continue chasing this ideal body that's always getting pushed out. And what you should really be chasing is like confidence and peace within yourself and overall health, like yourself. And that's not going to look the same from person to person. That's really important to remember.
I remember in 4th grade.
Oh, wow.
In 4th grade, we were learning about like the moon and like how gravity or lack thereof affects your weight. So we were doing calculations on how much we would weigh on the moon. So our 4th grade teacher brought in a scale for everyone to stand on and weigh themselves and do the calculation. And I remember I was one of like 2 of the tallest people in the class, and our weights were way higher than everyone else's. I think I was 99 pounds. And I was just like, let me keep this to myself. I wasn't devastated because I still looked a certain way, which is terrible. But I was just like so confused because everyone was getting like 60, 70 pounds,
Yeah.
and I'm here at 99. We're gonna move forward so we can start cooking because I am hungry.
Me too.
So,
I didn't eat breakfast, y'all. Ooh, I'm gonna do the chives because garlic scares me.
garlic is difficult. I'm not gonna give like exact measurements, you know, let the spirit lead you.
Let the spirit, that's a good thing.
But I will say for the chives / scallions and the garlic, you do have to cut it a certain way because they are gonna be fried a certain way. I washed these. Make sure you cut them dry. So we're just gonna cut it just at an angle. This knife is not the best, I'm not gonna lie. It's serrated, so it's better for bread. But that one is sharp, so it should be good. It's like at a slight angle. That way they're long. They have a cute look to them. I'm not gonna cut anymore.
Okay.
Because it's
So that's about how long they
rough.
should be diced up.
Yeah.
This is actually really easy.
Yeah. And you just do that with all of them.
Okay, bet.
And we might not use all of them.
Okay.
But we'll have them just in case.
Ooh, I'm already liking the smell.
Now, hopefully, this will be okay. We do not have more than one knife. This is something I had to pull out the archives. How do you think diet culture has shifted over the years?
I think a lot of things have changed and a lot of things have also stayed the same. I know like the 90s and the early 2000s, stuff like, like Weight Watchers was really big where
Jenny Craig.
it was almost sort of like a group thing. Yeah, Jenny Craig.
Yeah.
Like these subscriptions that you would like sign up for and they would like either send you food or tell you like what to eat, and it was and I know that was beneficial for a lot of people, but I also think that it could send a lot of mixed messages, which is why I'm not super crazy about the whole like fad diet thing.
Yeah.
Something that I feel that has been like really popular now is like, a few years ago keto was really big, which I have very strong opinions
Let's unpack that.
about keto because I do not think it is good for you. So I remember like back in high school, when I was really obsessed with like these crazy fads and like diet fads and wanting to look like everyone else that I went to school with, I was like, oh, I have to cut out, like I can never eat sugar again. And I have such a big sweet tooth. Like I love sweet things. And it would last for like a day, and I'm not even joking. And then I would be like, oh, okay, but like now I want a cupcake, or like now I want some chocolate.
Yeah.
And I was like, how am I gonna do this for the rest of my life? I'm not. Now the focus is just really on like, how do I get a good balance versus I'm just going to completely cut this out and I'm never going to eat carbs. And then, meanwhile, you need carbs.
You do.
And sugar isn't necessarily like a bad thing. There are lots of natural foods that have sugar in it, right? Maybe cutting down on like added and refined sugar.
That's interesting though, because I had a boss who I believe did the keto diet, and I never really knew or understood what it was. So if you don't mind going into it.
I don't have all of the details, but I do know that it's like you're basically trying to keep your body in ketosis.
Sure.
I don't know what that is, but I don't think your body is constantly supposed to be in ketosis.
Yeah.
Like I would see people like be eating multiple like burgers, but then like not like using the lettuce wrap instead of like buns, and like it was just such a huge ingest of protein, and it just wasn't healthy. It's not emphasizing like you should also be getting a lot of fiber, and you should also be getting a lot of like veggies and like, all this kind of stuff. Like, and I was like, this is like really excluding a lot of things that are crucial to your diet. Like I can only imagine how hard it is to just be eating like, not like they were only eating protein, but like that's a big part of it. The goal was to like lose weight.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be your only goal when you are looking at like lifestyle changes.
Also, here is what garlic looks like. Just doesn't have to be cute, just sliced, relatively thin, relatively choppy.
All right, you guys. She's snacking on some cookies that I made. If you're looking for the recipe, you can look somewhere on some page. Instagram, TikTok, at making it with, actually, I think it's at MIWM10 underscore for TikTok, and then it's underscore 10 for Instagram, or just 10. I actually don't know. You'll find it. I'll link it somewhere. I'll put it somewhere. So now we're going to add oil. I use vegetable oil. You can't really see that. Vegetable oil. And we're just going to pour a decent amount in. Just enough to where the stuff can fry the, what's it called? But yeah, just enough to where the chives and the garlic can fry, but not anything crazy. Our Bible verse is Genesis 1:29. So what were your thoughts on the verse as an individual verse? And then what were your thoughts on the verse as it pertains to the whole chapter?
For those of you who don't know, this is like during the creation. And I think it's right after he makes man. So I think it's a really beautiful reminder of just how like intentional God is with his creation, with everything. Because not only like everything is just so like multi-purposeful. God is so intentional because he saw that, you know, man would also need nutrition. Man would also need food to eat. And not only did he give us like plants to make things look like beautiful, but also to feed us.
God explicitly, said that he gave us vegetation for food in Genesis 1:29. And in verse 30, he gave every breathing animal plants for food too. And I was going to ask, why in your opinion, do you think that he doesn't mention meat until Genesis 9:3? And I thought it was really interesting that his initial purpose or job for mankind was to be fruitful and multiply. So I think he, in my opinion, but I think that he might have mentioned plants, seeds, fruits first because we have to cultivate that. We have to be the ones to put the seed in the ground, water it, do whatever else you need to do to make plants grow.
That's good.
And when it comes to animals, it's really on them.
Right.
To reproduce.
Fatten them up.
And just feed them those plants, So I thought that was really interesting. But I do want to ask, I guess that same question.
Yeah.
So why do you think you mentioned that first?
As I was looking at that scripture, I realized that like Genesis 9, what's happening around there is, this is after the flood. So this is after Noah's Ark. This is after God has, kind of wanted to, I don't want to say start again.
I mean,
he was like, let's give this another try.
Correct some not mistakes. God doesn't make mistakes, but correct some behaviors.
Correct some behavior.
Yeah.
And I think it's, and it's even still debated, like, were people like carnivores before the flood? Like, were people before Noah's time eating animals, or did they only start after? I'm not sure if that's anything we can really answer ourselves, but I can assume that some of the intention behind it is also just like the difference in the covenant that sort of occurs, right? So after Noah's time, like after the ark and everything, we see a lot of like sacrificial offerings to God being made, right? We see the whole thing happen with the sacrificial lamb and the blood being put on the door and marking God's people and all of this stuff. I think that could be connected, right? And we're starting to see this new way that people are just offering sacraments and sort of giving things onto the Lord. And I'm sure that when you kill a lamb, you're not just gonna leave it lying somewhere, you know what I mean? And you kind of use and I think it's even purposeful in a way, right? Because I can't say this for sure, but I feel as if there's a kind of benefit to eating that sacrificial lamb, because you even see it in the New Testament, in Passover with Jesus, right? Jesus is the sacrificial lamb. And what does he do the night before he's crucified? Take my body and eat it, right?
Okay,
this wine is my blood. This wine is my blood and this bread is my body. I partake in it. And so I think like in that scripture, we sort of see the seeds being planted and we see the beginnings of this new covenant and this new way that God is relaying to his people, and that it serves a purpose, right? We're not just killing a lamb to just like kill a lamb, but there is purpose behind that.
Okay, I can smell the oil. It's getting a little fragrant. Cool. I think it's time. I have to turn down the heat.
I smell it.
I don't want it to burn. And it's going to be, okay, it's recording. So this is going to be a relatively quick process. I'm going to start with the garlic. Okay. I'm going to start with a piece just to see how hot it is. Okay.
That's good.
Not bad. Look at God. Okay. So I'm going to put all of it in because I know this is going to take maybe slightly longer to brown. Okay. So it's browning a little bit. So now you can go ahead and throw in the chives.
Whole thing.
Yes, ma'am. It's on like a very low temperature. It's like on a 2 right now. And honestly, I think it's good.
Fragrance.
I think it is good. I don't want it to get too brown. I do want some of the pieces of garlic to be a little browner, but I'm afraid. I'm not gonna lie. Janet, I'm gonna let you, as a guest,
Me?
yep, you can take it out whenever you see fit.
No pressure.
No pressure. It's okay. You saw the video. The lady's is like very, dark, so she might have, made it a little too crispy. But whenever you see fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna let it go for a bit.
Yeah.
I think especially because we lowered the heat. Yeah.
It doesn't look bad though. I'm very excited for this. So you've mentioned trying to cut protein from your diet. I know that was a while ago. Are you still doing that? And how has that been going for you?
I will be honest.
Okay.
We just passed holiday season.
Yes, we did.
I actually went to Mexico for Christmas, and
Wow.
so you know how it is all at the resort,
yeah,
inclusive, all this food. Pork is also really big in Mexico.
I didn't know that.
It's really big. They eat a lot more pork than they do chicken. And I will be very honest.
Yeah,
I did not eat the way I usually do. That's how I'm gonna put it.
Okay.
So I had a lot of pork,
on vacation.
I had a lot of chicken, like I had a lot of different things. But I was on vacation.
Yeah.
It's the holidays. It's Christmas. It still kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's only January 6th.
Yeah. If anything.
Yeah.
I feel like by the 15th, it's like, okay,
let's get back on track.
Let's get back on track. But I did go grocery shopping yesterday. I got I bought a lot of fish, bought a lot of veggies, and so we're kind of slowly. Ooh, look at that color!
No, for real,
it's good. This is good.
It looks good, and it smells very good.
It does smell really good. And so yeah, we're slowly getting back into it. I don't want to say I'm like cutting out protein, because I think protein is really important for your diet. I think I'm just being more creative in the forms of protein that I eat, right? And so like eating more yogurt and stuff like that, because yogurt has some protein in it. I think Greek yogurt specifically. Eating more fish, but definitely cutting out red meat a lot, limiting meat to just once or twice a week. Chicken to like once or twice a week. It's so hard. Yeah. It's so hard.
The only time I don't eat meat is when there's none available. It's never voluntary.
Okay.
Right, so what are we thinking?
I think I like how this looks.
Leave the oil in the
for sure
the pot, and then transfer all the stuff into that bowl.
Gotcha.
So now we are going to add our
some
spices.
Seasoning.
Nothing crazy, simple. Just crushed red pepper and then chipotle chili peppers. Ooh. This was not in the original recipe, but we like to improvise. A couple of splashes. This is about, I would say, a teaspoon of the chipotle chili peppers. And Janet's going ham, as she should. We want that color, and we want to be able to taste it. So we can kick this back on. Just let it simmer in there for a little bit. We're gonna leave it at like a medium low.
Okay.
And let it do its thing. I didn't add onion powder. I'm like,
that's crucial.
I'm like, there's something that I'm missing. Just gonna add, about a tea-ish spoon. We'll mix that in there for the flavor. And this technically makes it not vegetarian, but if you use Better Than Bouillon
is vegan.
That's vegan. So pretend we're not putting this in there, but we have to because
it's just who we are.
It is. It's part of the culture, essentially. Now, again, about a teaspoon in there, and we mix that up. And we let the oil become immersed in flavors. And then we're going to add some of the rice wine vinegar and
I love some rice vinegar.
Some soy sauce.
I love some soy sauce.
When it comes to like the types of exercise you do with the type of diet you have, do you mind walking us through that as well? Sure. This is a little curious.
Ideal day. Okay. So I'll usually have maybe like a yogurt or a some fruit, and then maybe scramble some eggs. Okay. But I try not to have like super big breakfast just because, going into work. And then for lunch, I like to have like, for some reason, I like to have like my big proteins during lunch and not dinner.
Interesting.
And so I'll either have like a chicken dish or a fish dish. And then for dinner, before dinner, I actually like to work out in the evenings, just also with how my job is set up. Like, as soon as you log in, things are pretty consistent. And I also realized that working out in the morning just would always make me sleepy.
Yeah.
And I would have to take a nap, and I just couldn't. So I actually started working out in the evenings. And so I'll work out. And I usually will do like, I love lifting weights. And so I'll either be doing like an upper body or a lower body day.
So
yeah,
funny.
and then after dinner, maybe I'll eat like a pasta dish. That's usually been my go-to, kind of like what we're making today.
So there's a lot of controversy when it comes to either being vegetarian, vegan, eating meat, whatever it is your food of preference is. But the Bible does clearly state that we were given all three of these options as food. So what are your thoughts on those who are very heavily anti-meat?
I think I would say that everyone should obviously eat whatever you want to eat. Like, it's your lifestyle, it's your body. I always encourage like doing what makes you feel best. Some people feel really good on a vegetarian or vegan only diet, and some people like to incorporate meat in their diet, and I think that's completely fine. I don't really see a point in like shaming one or the other. I don't really want to say that one is like way better than the other. I do think there are more ways that we can ethically consume meat in terms of the way that we like treat animals and the way that we cook and we clean them, you know what I mean? God definitely gave us free reign over this earth and to eat so many things. He gave us so many options, which is such a blessing, and I think that we should enjoy that to its fullest.
Look at that. Fully incorporated, wow.
Okay, guys, so it looks like everything is done. The noodles look pretty good. The oil looks ready. So now all that's left to do is to transfer. Feel free to put in as much noodles as you would like. It actually looks so good.
No, it looks so good.
And if you guys want to, you can add more vegetables and stuff to it. I was thinking about it, but I'm like, let me stick to the recipe. Let me not get too fancy before I mess it up. Fully incorporated. Wow, that's beautiful. Okay.
Just so everyone knows, I've never made this before, so I don't know what it tastes like.
Now we plate.
Now
we plate. So with restaurants being more inclusive and having more variety when it comes to vegan and vegetarian options, do you think that you'd be willing to have like a 3-course meal, sit down at a vegan, vegetarian, plant-based restaurant?
Oh my gosh, most definitely. Actually, I already have.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't know it. It's kind of a funny story. This is when I was in college. So I was living in Austin, and I had a friend come into town for like a conference, and they were like, "Hey, Janet, like I found this really good burger place. Like we should go." And I was like, "I mean, I've never been, but sounds good."
How dare they say burger place?
I know. And so we got some burgers, and we started eating them. The fries were really good. I got like sweet potato fries, and then I started eating the burger, and it was good, but I was like, there's something different about this. Like, I was like, I don't know, this meat is kind of like different. Like, there's something different. I don't really know, but it's good. And about halfway through the burger, I looked at the menu one more time, and I realized it said 100% vegan.
Jesus.
And we were not aware. We were not aware. And the thing is, it's really on us because we just didn't read. And, being Nigerian, he was like, I'm not about to keep eating this. And so he made us go somewhere else. But for the first 30 minutes that we didn't know, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Yeah, if I believed it was a burger for quite a while, I think I would definitely want to try a vegan vegetarian restaurant. For sure.
All right, well, we are about done. All that's left is to show you guys the final product. All that's left now is to munch.
I'm so nervous.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very nervous too. If you went upstairs, you could smell the doneness, the well cookedness of the chives and the garlic. Cheers. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not my preferred noodle.
It's like missing something for me too.
Yeah.
This is real. This is authentic.
You know what I really like, and I don't know why we didn't use this because it's all vegetable, complete seasoning. Add a little bit of that because it has a bunch of different like herbs and vegetables.
You guys should definitely still try it at home.
Yeah. And make it your own. Like we added some things to make it our own, still adding some things. Yeah. But not terrible. So we're gonna.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
It looks really good.
Gorgeous gowns.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
I really appreciate you coming, giving us some of your words of wisdom. For the first episode, this is really exciting. Where can people find you if they want to follow you on social media?
For sure. You guys should follow me at Seasons of J on Instagram and on TikTok. I post a lot about self-discovery, identity, and community. And I'm really excited to connect with you guys. So
it's really good. Go follow. She has some interesting, very interesting vlogs.
I'm so annoying. I'm so obnoxious.
It's actually super funny. I enjoy them. I'm a fan. So
thank you.
Yes, thank you again. We'll see you guys whenever we see you guys
next time.
Bye.